They say ignorance is bliss, but is it really? Today I want to share something that has completely transformed my life, and that is asking hard questions. Trust me, it might feel really uncomfortable at first, but this practice is truly a game changer. Hello, and welcome to your safe space where we talk all about mindset shifts, manifestation, healing, and self-care. My name is Jules, and today I want to get real with you and share my thoughts through my healing journey and the power of asking hard questions. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I have been going through my healing journey for the past few years, and I've been doing the internal hard work. And because of this journey, I've actually been able to discover a few things about myself. I've embraced a few things, and I've stopped doing some things entirely. So I'm going to be transparent and share some of these things. The first one is that I stopped partying and drinking every weekend. Honestly, this was doing a lot of harm internally and mentally. I disliked that I had a hangover for multiple days, and I disliked that I was wasting entire days. I love being productive and getting things done, working towards my goals. And so when I started asking myself hard questions, this was one of the first things that I had to acknowledge. And that is, how am I spending my free time? And it kept coming back to going out on the weekends, partying and drinking, and then wasting the next few days so I could recover. Through my healing journey, I've also been able to embrace the beautiful peace of solitude. Now, I will say this: loneliness and solitude are two different things. And we tend to merge these two words together and give them the same meaning. However, loneliness has an attachment to abandonment, whereas solitude is about self-love and learning to celebrate yourself. I've also found my purpose for my season in my life. I believe that we all have a purpose in our lives, and I believe that our purpose can shift depending on the season that we are in our lives. Through my journey, I've also discovered my strengths and my weaknesses. I've asked myself hard questions that have led me to discover where I am truly strong in and where I could use some work. So for example, some of my strengths are analytical. I talked about this in my masculine versus feminine energy. I am a very analytical person. I am very organized. I am very goal-oriented. And some of my weaknesses are communication and having difficult conversations. Another one of my weaknesses is the fear of public speaking and sales and persuasion. Now, because I am a business owner, I understand that sales is a very important key to business, and I've discovered that it's not just for business owners, it's for everybody. Everybody is a salesperson in their lives. And so we have this narrative that only business people or people that work in sales and retail can have this skill, and that's not necessarily true. But through asking myself hard questions, I'm able to reflect on my strengths and my weaknesses, and then I'm able to take the steps that I need to take in order to strengthen my weaknesses. And so because I have been doing the hard work with my mindset, I have also realized the power of self-awareness. So let's start with the first reason I encourage you to ask yourself hard questions. And that is because when I began to ask myself hard questions, I began to uncover hidden aspects of my identity, my fears, and my desires. It's like peeling back layers of an onion and getting to the core of who I truly am. I started to explore questions like, how do I want to show up in the world? What is it about success that scares me? What was my childhood like? How am I holding myself accountable? And what am I responsible for? I was listening to Alex Hormozy's podcast this past weekend, and in this interview, he said, "You are where you are today because of the decisions that you have made." And so when I ask myself hard questions such as, how am I holding myself accountable? It reminds me of this exact quote. I am where I am today because of the decisions that I have made. And if I don't like where I am today, then I know that today is a blank canvas and tomorrow is a blank canvas, and I can continue to make decisions that align with where I want to be. Because asking what part of this am I responsible for opens up that door for reflection. And so these questions challenged me to confront uncomfortable truths. And honestly, it made me face the parts of myself that I had been avoiding, especially parts about my childhood and how that affected all of my relationships, decisions, and mistakes as an adult. But you know what? It was liberating. It allowed me to embrace my whole self, flaws, and all. And that's when self-love truly began to blossom. And you know what else I noticed? I noticed that I was a people pleaser. And the second that I started to establish boundaries, that second my circle got smaller. The second reason that I encourage you to ask yourself hard questions is because you are then able to challenge your limiting beliefs. And then you are able to break free from the old narrative. Trust me, we all have those nagging voices in our heads that say, you're not good enough, or you'll never succeed. And so when I started to ask myself hard questions, I was then able to challenge those limiting beliefs head on. I started to question the beliefs that I had of, why do I think I need to please everyone? Or what is it about failure that terrifies me? It wasn't easy, but as I examined these beliefs, I realized that they were subconscious narratives that were rooted in childhood experiences. Research shows that when we reframe our limiting beliefs, we open up a world of possibilities. I talk extensively on this in my previous video. I'll go ahead and link it down below. And so the more work that I did, the more resilient and confident I became. And I realized that I am more than capable of achieving my goals, and not only achieve my goals, but empower other women to achieve theirs as well. I'm actually going to share the worst advice that I ever got, and that is that you cannot help someone unless you have money. The only way that you can help someone is with money. And for a long time, I believed this narrative. Now, I understand that there is power in financial literacy, and I am personally working on this because I want to invest in my future and in the future of my son. However, money is not the only way that you can help someone. Being a decent human being is how you can help others because it's free. Kindness is free. Empowering others is free. And you can help others with these free acts of kindness. So for me, when I started to ask myself hard questions, I was able to confront these false narratives, and I was able to begin listening to my intuition. I was able to focus on what part of me is missing, because whatever you want from someone else, you have to be able to give it to yourself first. This brings me to my next reason why I encourage you to ask yourself hard questions, and that is so that you can begin your healing and transformation journey. Asking myself hard questions became an act of self-compassion and a pathway to healing. I began to give myself the space to reflect and to process my emotions. Instead of avoiding difficult feelings, I leaned into them, And I was able to acknowledge that healing is messy and it does not follow a straight line. Some days are hard, and that's okay. When you learn to give yourself grace, that is key to your healing journey. When you ask yourself, how can I forgive myself for my past mistakes? It allows you to heal and to grow. It can feel like a weight is being lifted off your shoulders, because that's how it felt for me. Through this process, I learned that self-love is not just about bubble baths and affirmations, but it's about doing the inner work and facing the shadows. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love my affirmations and my meditations, but it is truly deeper than that. Again, I talk extensively on this in my previous episode on how to overcome mental blocks and reprogram your subconscious mind. I'll go ahead and link it down below so you can listen to that one next. So if you are curious about asking yourself hard questions and doing the hard work, let's talk about some actionable steps that you can begin today. Number 1 is carve out sacred time. Create a safe space for you to self-reflect. This could be through journaling, meditating, or simply finding a quiet corner where you can be alone with your thoughts. Again, to me, this looks like going out less on the weekends and learning to enjoy my own company. I am embracing solitude, and it is truly beautiful. To me, this also looks like going to bed early so that I can enjoy a quiet morning routine before the rush of school and work. I love to meditate and connect with myself and my breath, because I know that my breath has been the only constant thing in my life since the second I was born until the day that I die. And not to be morbid or anything, but this is the reality of our breath. And so by connecting with my breath and being aware of my emotions has been a huge part of my healing journey and my self-care. The second actionable step is to start with curiosity, and instead of judging yourself, approach these questions with an open mind. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Talk to yourself like you would if you were talking to a friend or a child. Because when a friend or a child comes to you with their troubles, you aren't mean, you're compassionate and you are kind. So give yourself that same kindness and compassion. And so to me, this looks like exploring my feminine energy and learning to heal my wounded female energy. This also looks like me giving myself grace and listening to my body. It also looks like allowing myself to rest and to let go of the things that I cannot control. Number 3 is embrace discomfort, because growth often happens outside of our comfort zone. Don't shy away from tough questions. Instead, lean into them, because that is where the magic happens. Instead of being hard on myself for my weaknesses, I embrace them and I work on taking the steps to strengthen those weaknesses. And number 4 is seek support. If you feel overwhelmed, reach out to a friend or a family member, a therapist, or a coach, because they can provide guidance and hold space for your journey. You don't have to go through this journey alone. And if there's one piece of advice that I can give you, is to be aware of the energy that's around you and surround yourself with people that re-energize you. It's okay to ask for help. In fact, we all need help. That's part of being human. So remember, my friend, asking yourself hard questions is an act of self-love. Embrace the discomfort, challenge those limiting beliefs, and watch yourself blossom into the incredible soul that you were always meant to be. You got this. All right, that is all I have for you today. If you found any value in this episode, please take 10 seconds to leave a 5-star review. It really helps the channel grow and get the message out there for more people to find. By you sharing the video, other people can also have access to this information to empower them and to guide them in their healing journey as well. So thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate you. And if you would like more motivation sent to your phone on a weekly basis, you can join the community at MindsetManifest.co and sign up to receive the Wise Wednesday newsletter that goes out every week. And I'm going to leave you the same way that I always do. You matter. You are doing your best, and that is good enough. Until next time, my friend, stay amazing.